Today marks 70 years since the deadliest plane crash in Colorado history, but not a lot of people know about it. Thanks so much for joining us. I'm Mark Salinger. For the last 7 decades, there's been no permanent memorial for those who died when a plane departing from the Stapleton Airport was blown up by a bomb. Today, though, that changed. 9 News reporter Evan Krugel was there as the victims of the plane crash and their families were finally honored. Hey, Evan.
Hey, Mark. Yeah, an emotional ceremony today. The Denver Police Museum unveiled a memorial to those victims outside the old Stapleton Airport. In attendance, 82-year-old Susan Morgan, who lost both her parents in that attack.
Thomas L. Croach.
At the base of the old Stapleton Flight Tower, hundreds gathered for a long-awaited goodbye to the victims of Flight 629.
The victims of United Flight 629 will not be forgotten.
November 1st marks 70 years since 44 people were killed when a flight from Denver to Oregon exploded and crashed over farm fields in Weld County. The FBI would later learn 23-year-old Jack Gilbert Graham had placed dynamite and a timer in his mom's luggage as part of an elaborate plot to collect life insurance.
On the Day of the Dead, November 1st, 1955, my parents were blown up by a maniacal murderer.
Susan Morgan was just 12 when her mother and father were killed.
To me, what happened to me marked me as different and separate for the past 70 years, and that's been just a private truth.
70 years later, she still doesn't know exactly what happened.
No, I don't, and I'm going to keep it that way. It really is true. Every single detail I have some kind of vivid nightmare about, so I just don't do it.
For 7 decades, there has been no memorial honoring those who were lost. Today, that changed.
Unveiled.
The Denver Police Museum helped create a permanent memorial listing the victims' names outside of Flight Co. Tower. More than 100 people, including family members like Susan, were flown in to see it. She says it's nice to know people still care, but says nothing will ever change how that flight impacted her life.
Nothing brings closure, and I don't need closure. I've given up on it. I have made a life for myself that I feel I'm lucky to have.
Now, that suspect was prosecuted in Denver County Court at the time and ultimately sentenced to death. This led to multiple changes in the airline industry, including, of course, the current law, which makes crimes committed in the sky a federal offense. It also changed how airline security worked, leading to much stricter checks on luggage. Mark?
Yeah, it's such an interesting story. I mean, for people from Colorado still not even knowing about it, now they finally have a memorial all these years later. Evan, appreciate it. Thank you. I want to turn now to the weather. On November 1st, it's kind of a weird thing to be talking about how beautiful it is outside. Jaden Knowles joining us this evening. And Jaden, not really a change in talking about snow here anytime soon.
Yeah, no time soon. Overall, we are talking about the 1st of November, really feeling like the beginning of October. We saw temperatures today in the low 60s, and tomorrow, guess what? Even warmer temperatures, getting back up to the upper 70s. Yeah, that's summer-like temperatures right there. Here's your current temperatures, the low 60s, 61 degrees in Centennial, 60 degrees at the airport, and also 64 degrees right here in downtown Denver. Current temperatures across the entire state, we are seeing the upper 50s for the eastern plains and also 50s and 40s in the high country, the low 60s for the western slope. Live radar, we're nice and dry, and guess what? We're going to stay dry the next 7 to 10 days. I don't have any rain or snow, unfortunately, in my forecast, so we're going to stay dry with the nice and warm conditions the next couple of days. The rest of your forecast for this evening dropping down to the upper 40s, 47 by 9 p.m., and we should hold steady as we head into the morning hours. Don't forget to turn your clocks back, though, tonight. You'll get that extra hour of sleep finally. And then temperatures tomorrow, here's just a little hint. 77 degrees is the forecast. That high or that record is 78 degrees, which was set back in 2008. And I'll tell you more details about what to expect as we head into your Sunday, my full forecast. Mark?
Upper 70s on November 2nd. Wow. A teenager is now in custody after police say a drunken street race on Halloween night ended in a fatal crash. Just after midnight, Aurora police responded to the scene at East Alameda Parkway and South Chambers Road. Details still limited, but officials say they found a car with 3 people inside that had rolled over. One person died at the scene while the other 2 inside, including the driver, were taken to the hospital. Police believe the suspect behind the wheel was under the influence of alcohol. Today is the first day of our 9 Cares Colorado Shares Drive, and it comes at a really crucial time as SNAP benefits that 600,000 Coloradans rely on didn't go out today. We're teaming up with local food banks to try and raise $750,000 for Coloradans facing food insecurity this year. One of them is Food Bank of the Rockies right here in Denver. They source millions of pounds of food from manufacturers, retailers, and farmers, bring them straight to distribution sites to get them to communities. With so much uncertainty with the government shutdown and everything surrounding SNAP benefits, food banks of the Rockies, as well as other food banks around the state, are facing an insecurity unlike anything that they've ever seen.
We have already been addressing the highest level of food insecurity in over 10 years. Food banks have also been facing some increasing pressure because earlier this year, we saw a reduction in federal support, which meant fewer meals that were going out to our neighbors in need.
So concerns about food insecurity are being felt all across the country, including right here in our state, with many organizations now urging the communities that they live in to try and help in any way they can. Community Food Share hosted food drives today at KUSA's locations around the Front Range. Organizers say this year's need for donations, of course, greater than ever. They say that in addition to the thousands of Coloradans now without food benefits from SNAP, federal workers, of course, are also in need.
We also have government civilians who've been furloughed, not having paychecks. We have people who are essentially working without a paycheck. And all those individuals are also going to need support as the longer that this shutdown goes on.
Community Food Share says neighbors in Boulder and Broomfield counties have lost access to more than $4 million in benefits with those SNAP benefits delayed. 2 judges ruled yesterday the Trump administration must continue to fund the program, but that could take several weeks to comply with. If you're interested in helping out Food Bank of the Rockies or our 9 Cares Colorado Shares Drive, you can scan the QR code right now on your screen to get to our donation page. You can also donate when you're checking out at KUSA's. The donation page and all this information is also available on 9news.com/9cares.